Has the whole world gone crazy, pioneers? You must learn to let go of what is not serving you for the greater good. You must learn to let go of what is not serving you for your higher purpose that you're supposed to be fulfilling here in this matrix. That way, you can make space for what inspires you. If it's not helping you evolve, then it's a distraction, pioneers. Can I get a hello? I mean, has the whole world gone crazy? We are living in a world where people will do anything for fame or the limelight. We're living in a world so fake, people would do anything for some money. What would you do for some paper? They'd do anything for a Klondike bar, pioneers. That's the red pill. You see, we are living in a world so fake, the truth actually frightens people. And I don't want to see my pioneers trade in this real life, the best life, the life I live. Throw your hands up in the sky for that fake life. Has the whole world gone crazy, pioneers? You see, once upon a time in this matrix, it was all about the message, and it was all about love and abundance and gratitude. But now it's all about creating an illusion and a narrative. It's all about fear and keeping you trapped in that lack mindset, keeping humanity from being who they truly are. Has the whole world gone crazy, pioneers? Because we are living in a world where people have been groomed and conditioned to always look outside of themselves. We're living in a world where people worship false idols and actors, role players, and entertainers. Can I get a hello? I mean, we see it each and every day. People worshiping any and everybody but themselves. But I'm here to remind you that it's time to look at the man or the woman in the mirror and accept that you are the real superstar. You've just forgotten that. That's all. Start putting yourself first, because you are worthy and your voice matters. Oh, you didn't know your voice mattered and that you were worthy? See, you didn't even know that you were the greatest of all time within your own paradigm. And now that you do know, I'm sure it feels so damn good, doesn't it, pioneers? And I love you. And when you focus on love, gratitude, and abundance, you can change the narrative and create a better world. And when enough people focus on love, gratitude, and abundance, we become a force that can be reckoned with. So shout out to all those out there being real and being their true, authentic self and not fake. And shout out to all the chosen ones being themselves. And all those putting out a good message and speaking their truths. You see, I had a choice to make, pioneers. I could have chosen to dumb down the masses, turning them into asses, and being a complete disservice to my viewers. You see, I could have led a multitude to hell, but I decided I was going to try and lead a multitude to heaven. You see, I could have lowered the frequency, but I wanted to come out here and raise the frequency and raise the vibrations. See, I made a choice, and I chose to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem, because what you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality one day. And what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindsets. And what gets ingrained in your subconscious mindsets, it eventually becomes an unconscious reaction and an unconscious activity. And I've always just wanted mine to be guideful, helpful, and nurturing to others. So certainly hope you're all doing well wherever you are on this late night XRP cryptocurrency after dark edition for you all, like we used to do last year. We know today was May the 4th, and a big Star Wars day for everybody that celebrates and follows Star Wars, that watches the movies, etc. Who allows Star Wars to harvest their energy. We know today was May the 4th, getting that very symbolic 52 right here. And when we look at the price charts for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, we know today, May the 4th, May the 4th be with you, you guys. Happy birthday to my little brother out there, wherever he is in Alabama. Sending you much love and high vibrations, little bro. But again, May the 4th, we saw Bitcoin close, pay attention right here, 5.2%. On May the 4th, you guys, it rose 5.2%, and May the 4th gives us that 52 in numerology. Not surprising. So we get the numerology and gematria connection right there in the Chaldean. We know BTC, the ticker symbol for cryptocurrency, gives us that 25, the mirror of 52. And I teach you all that this year is a very important and volatile year because we're in the Shemitah year, giving us that same 25 we got in the BTC ticker symbol. And it's very important that we pay attention to today and tomorrow when we add the date numerologies up as well, and we not just break them down to the numerologic value. When we add tomorrow, the day we're transitioning into, up, we get 52. So very important. I wanted to bring that up as well. When we add 5 plus 2, or 5 plus 5 plus 20 plus 22 up, it gives us the 52. So again, giving us more 52, 25 connections. We know the volatility in the markets today came from the Fed's FOMC meeting, and apparently, it had a huge connection to the 5.2% increase in Bitcoin today. We know they decided to, kick the can down the road like they always do, so not surprising, you guys. The most important connection we saw to the May the 4th be Wednesday with you. This was a Wednesday, a day of Mercury or Miercules. And I teach you that that's a very important day in the markets to pay attention to. Again, Mercury running the financial show, the fiat show, the monetary show on the world stage. Very important connection. But when we take this day all the way back to Rosh Hashanah, September 7th, 2021, we see that this was a day that was 239 days in length apart. So 239 is the 52nd prime number. Total, this was 34 weeks and 1 days, which is an anagram for pi, 3.14. So it's mixed up there, but very important. This very symbolic 124, 241 being an anagram of each, the same numbers, just in a different order right here. I found that very interesting as well. We know how important this 51 and 15 connection has been all year. It's connected us back to the moon, giving us that same 15 and 51. We always pay attention to the volatility around Bitcoin. We know it's highly tied to the moon with this 23 connection in this Chaldean cipher. So something that we pay attention to and keep on our minds when we see this 51-15 connection. We also saw that this gave us the other 15, so two 15s here. So a 51 and 15 connecting us to the moon, and I'm going to throw 115 in there because we're in the year of the tiger, giving us that 15 in Chaldean as well. So I was just paying attention to this exoterically, because when I saw the increase in the price charts, the highest I saw this increase go to today before selling back down to 5.2% and closing the daily candle at 5.2% was 5.99%. So again, that 59 we get in Tiger right here. Bitcoin pumped a total of 5.99%. That 99 tying us back into Jupiter, which is the Tiger stripe planet. So again, giving us that 99. Just very important connections that I wanted to bring up to you all today. As we got ready to continue to transition through this very important 18th week of the year. Again, May the 4th was giving us that very powerful 52 that we made connections to, but also that 61, which we know is the 18th prime number. So again, this is the 18th week of the year, and this number is something I've shared with you all now for almost a year on its importance. We know how important it is in Judaism, and tying us back into some very powerful exoteric things, this number 18. So we always pay attention to that as well. Another 52 connection that we can make is one we always make is cryptocurrency, giving us that 52 in Chaldean as well, just tying us into this very powerful day, May the 4th. May the force be with you. So not surprising to see a retest of our trend line. When we zoom in and we pay attention to how important this trend line has been going back in time, we see that we had a lot of confluence as to why we closed the daily candle where we did. I mean, we're still battling right here to show true support being held of this trend line, and we can see a clear rejection very easily back down. So, don't count that as to what can happen here. But again, the Fed meeting today and all the volatility, this very exoteric connection I'm making right here can show me that this could be just a range-bound period. Something that I know a lot of traders might agree with, and why we could potentially see another sell-off and just some choppy downtrend, uptrend, price action right here moving forward. This is just very exoteric and an important connection I wanted to make with you all. When we bring up some of our indicators like the Bollinger Bands, we see that, well, this median is right now what we're holding support of. There's not really anything else besides the 21-day moving average that I saw earlier that we're holding support of as well on the daily time frame. So that's another key indicator that I like to see. We want to see multiple daily closes above this 21-day moving average, and we'd like to see these EMAs get back into bullish posture. One EMA we're going to keep an eye on is at 55 as well, which is sitting here right at around 40K. So when we start seeing multiple daily candle closes above that 55, that's going to be very important. We know tomorrow is actually 5/5, May 5th, and we know that is Cinco de Mayo, giving us that very powerful 55. So that's another important connection we're going to pay attention to. We know that's the Day of the Dead, giving us that very important 55. This is a Spanish tradition and celebration, but again, this 55 ties us into Satoshi Nakamoto, giving us that 55 in Chaldean. So again, very important connection when we see this 55. We always pay attention to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency when we see this 55. It always ties us back into God and Satan, giving us that 55, the timekeeper 55, predestination. We saw Pluto's return, the platinum jubilee of Queen Elizabeth, all tying us in here with that 55 this year, ultimately tying us into the 257, which is the 55th prime number that we get in Jupiter's thunderbolt. We're in the year of the tiger stripe planet. We're in the year of Jupiter, or the year of the tiger, ultimately tying us back into our galaxy Andromeda Nebula with that 55. We know Omicron Piscium is the 15th star in a constellation of stars, giving us that 55. And we saw the variant Omicron, etc. It's all very exoteric. We know the Queen, she rules over 15 Commonwealth realms. We're in the year of the tiger. She gives us 150. Drop the 0, you get the 15. So just some very powerful connections. So tomorrow being 5-5, we're going to pay attention to this date very importantly and very closely tomorrow, giving us that 7 months, 4 weeks. That ties us back into Jesus, Lucifer, that 74 connection, that duality connection. Israel is in its 74th year anniversary. So all very important. And again, tomorrow adding up to 52, those important connections we've made. Tomorrow being a Thursday, Thor's Day, the day of Jupiter. And we know how important Jupiter's logo is, the 2 and the 4 combined. Tomorrow being a day that leaves 240 days left in the year, drop the 0, you get the 24. We get that 24 in cryptocurrency. So all very, very important. Drop the 0, you get the 2 and the 4. Sorry about my voice tonight, you guys. I've kind of been up all day and have to be up and on my way to work at 3:30. So we might not get much sleep tonight. Just wanted to bring this message to you all and share this important decode with why we saw Bitcoin pump 5.2% in the first week of May. This is a very important video, or very important time period, and I hope my last video broke down May in depth and broke down the Shemitah year in depth for you all. And this video was to come out and prepare you all for the rest of this first week of May. Starting from this point forward, we finally got our bullish energy that we tend to get around new moons. And we know our new moon and lunar cycle tends to bring bullish or bearish energy depending on the new and the full moon cycle. New moons are typically bullish, whereas full moons are typically bearish. And we know that window is a 3 to 5 day transition window before and after these periods. Yesterday, May the 4th, may the force be with you, being a 4-day time period after this. So we know we've spoke about in our last video how we've recently transitioned through this eclipse period. And it was coming in on the last day of April, April 30th, I do believe, yep, 4:30. And it brought some bearishness to the markets, leading into a MayDay, May 1st low that we seem to have gotten so far at about $37,386. So we're paying attention to that level right now, because if we break 3700, well, that's going to be pretty important to pay attention to right now. This is our microstructure low so far in the chart, so we're going to pay attention to 37.3 moving forward. We want to hold that as support. But we've spoke highly of this time frame recently, and I've tried to prepare all my pioneers for the potential volatility that we could see coming in the markets, and we didn't care which way it was going, up or down. We just knew we could potentially see some volatility around this lunar cycle and this eclipse. We know, again, typically being a 3 to 5 day on the lunar cycle day, or a 3 to 5 day after the lunar cycle day. And up until today, we were recently bearish, but this is May 4th, and we see the force is with us today, bringing us, some pretty bullish price action in the charts. So our new moons and full moons, our lunar cycle is holding true yet again. But I don't want anyone to get excited, because right now we are truly still just range bound, as I spoke about earlier. And since we have yet to see any real decision as to where this market really wants to go, are we setting a spring? Are we setting a spring in some of these charts, or are we going to continue to hold structure and continue and show continuation towards the upside from here, or just continue to move sideways? It's still hard to tell, and we'll have to wait and let time play out. But since our lunar cycle of the eclipse was pretty bearish, you guys, and it's been boring, I'm really putting more energy on this Mercury stationed in retrograde time period as a major pivot point for these markets. And that's going to run us from May 10th to June 2nd. So a very important time period. And if you've watched my last Shemitah and May decode, April showers may bring us May flowers, then you're going to see just how important these last 3 weeks of May can be. So seeing this recent oversold market, when we look at things like the RSI, and we see Bitcoin just hanging out down here in these lower 36, 37 areas, matching confluence to, the 36 we get in Bitcoin, matching confluence to the 37 we've recently seen in the price charts, holding structures of. That's very important. And we know we typically don't hang in these lower time frames or, areas of the RSI for very long. So to see this relative strength index get back up here towards that 55 level where I teach you here on the Daily Candle Close News, we typically start to get bullish at. We're going to start paying attention now and see what happens. We flip the signal line, so maybe a back test and a holding support of this signal line before continuation could be in the cards as well. But we'll keep an eye on that moving forward. But seeing this recent oversold market has been, getting me ready and prepared for a relief rally. And it appears to be starting. But I don't want any of you to, again, pay much attention to this, because I think this action we're seeing has been baked in and priced into these markets today because of the Fed's FOMC meeting. And I hope after this video you've been able to see that, and you're able to prepare yourselves for these markets around the Fed meetings. We know typically the markets tend to do well when the Congress is all in one place in the same buildings. It's very important that we pay attention to this. They were discussing the recent interest rate hikes, etc. Nobody cares. So when you look at the markets, they are the heroes today, and that's their whole goal. They just want to come in and be the ones to save the day. And we know better than that. So when I brought this out to you today, I just wanted to bring up the most important thing was utilizing the code and paying attention to what we see on the world stage as well. Not getting too excited and leaving your emotions on the sideline and building your fundamental investment thesis. Practice the things we're teaching here on the Daily Candle Close News, and you're really gonna begin to start to change and manifest your own reality. Because again, I try and teach you that you're a manifestation expert and scholar, and all it takes is hard work and dedication. Because it's not that knowledge is power, you guys. That's only a third of the key. You see, it's when we apply utility to the knowledge we've learned, it's then we can elect it to wisdom. So when I first started learning how to decode and learning about numerology and gematria, astrology, astrotheological teachings from an ancient prehistoric world, pi, alchemy, etc., I started teaching myself more and more in depth behind the meanings of each and every one of these things, like the numbers. It allowed me the ability to build a base knowledge around each number's true meaning. And I've done the same thing with our alphabet and the letters and the words it creates in English and their meanings as well. And ultimately, the more I studied and these things and the more I applied my mind, the more I saw it was able to expand. And I saw my mind growing each and every day. And honestly, it's so incredible how much I believe humanity overlooks these things. So I'm probably going to leave that here and just leave this brief and just want to share with you all the connections I've made here. And hopefully you're able to see how important it is to utilize this code. With all that being said, take care and God bless. Pioneers, rise and build your legacy and build your fortress.